2020. We'll call the Wright County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We'll stand for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you all for being cognizant of social distancing. The people in our audience have all been made aware of that. And as a board, we have also spaced ourselves in light of the COVID-19 threats. So we'll move through our items fairly quickly this morning, and we'll get to some more important business. So.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 3rd.
All right. Motion made and seconded. And I just do have one slight correction. On page 3 of 6, the fourth from the bottom paragraph, it's not Deering, it's Dietering. Yeah, so you're aware of that. All right.
Madam Chair, I did tell Susan that this morning. So
Okay.
Thank
you. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. The approval of the agenda. Anyone have anything to add?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, and I will be making a statement before the items for consideration. All right.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to add to the agenda the discussion of a moving to a closed session to discuss emergency planning in light of current situations at hand regarding COVID-19.
All right. So I would like to add that before the items for consideration.
Okay.
So moving to a closed session.
Timed item D.
All right. And is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. All right. Consent agenda. Anything you'd like to remove for further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right. Motion
Second.
made. Seconded by Commissioner Potter. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. We have a couple of timed items here. Mr. Bob Hevola.
Good morning, Board. First item on the agenda is to approve a plat Prairie Glen in Victor Township. All the proper documents have been submitted, fees have been paid, and the plat is in the back for your signature.
All right.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the plat for Prairie Glen in Victor Township.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes.
Board, the second item on the agenda is to approve the February revenue expenditure guideline. Normally, the second month into the year, there's really nothing to draw your attention to, but I do want to draw your attention to the fact that if you looked at your budget report, did you all get paper copies?
Yep.
You're going to see that Fund 34 is now included in here, and that's our CIP project. So now every one of our projects has a funding mechanism. So any changes to that is going to be brought before you. So you can see the current status of all of our CIP projects. The other thing is, Ryan came down here. We made the adjustments that you've approved at the county board. So for example, like the parks, moving Matt out to parks, that has already been incorporated. The other budget amendment that's been in there is the carry forwards from last year where we didn't have time to buy the stuff, so we carried those budgets forward. That's in there. Any other big one that's coming?
Just a new position, that'll be coming in April.
But any amendment to the budget I'm going to draw your attention to, it's going to be here in this. So,
Okay.
All right.
are there any questions on February?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the February revenue expenditure budget and CIP report.
Motion made by Commissioner Potter. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Delyden. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Madam Chair, I would like to move that we just table the item, given the light of our Health and Human Services Director inability to be here. Or you still want to talk on that one?
table it.
All right. All right, Sarah Grotius in for Jamie Goodwin Schwartz, Health and Human Services.
Morning, Commissioners. I have before you a resolution to support diversity, equity, inclusion. I believe that I need to petition the Commissioners to hear an updated version. It was inadvertently submitted with some missing verbiage, and I'm prepared to read the updated language if you'd like to hear it.
But you haven't given us a copy of it?
I don't know what transpired between Amy and,
I don't have anything.
Yeah, we don't have a resolution number. It doesn't look.
oh, if she did, I've been otherwise engaged in a different room, and I didn't realize I was supposed to bring you copies. She was supposed to provide me a copy. I apologize. If you, it may work to just.
Table, that's, because
Yeah.
then we can have a little bit better talk about what kind of precipitates. and-
I agree.
Yeah,
Madam
that's
Chair, I'll
fine.
make a motion that we table this item to another meeting down the road at
I
some
would
point.
hope that she would be
I'll second that.
available in a couple weeks. Okay.
All right, motion made in second. Any
Who
discussion?
gets a second? Who wants to know? You got the motion?
See,
Commissioner
his
Delight.
the sound travels
Delighted.
faster over there.
I did.
Oh, I thought it was, okay.
Susan
I'm sorry.
heard me second it first.
Commissioner Potter.
I tell you, everybody's fighting hard to get the motions today.
We're all a tilt. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. And we move on to Mr. Virgil Hawkins, Highway Engineer, has a few items. 5.
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair and Board of Commissioners. There are 5 items for your consideration this morning. And the first one is to accept plant mixed bituminous seasonal bid prices. We received bids on Thursday, February 27th, and this is one where we get bids from a number of different contractors, and then we accept all the bids, and then as we do our maintenance work around the county, we can choose where we would get the mix from, what makes sense for us.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Before we go on.
Potter.
The reason we accept all of them is if they're a different part of the county, the trucking costs to eat our lunch would make more than the difference of whatever that
Yeah.
per ton mix is.
Right.
And that, with that, I'll make a motion to accept the plant mixed bituminous seasonal bids.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Potter, seconded by Commissioner Delighten. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item for consideration is recommending award of contract 20-05 for pavement markings. We received 2 bids, and we're recommending award the AAA striping of St. Michael in the amount of $422,800.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to award the contract number 2005 for pavement making on various county highways.
Markings. not-
Markings, sorry, makings, markings.
I'll
All
second.
right.
Missed that R.
Motion made by Commissioner Vesh, seconded by Commissioner Delighten. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, thank you. The
Great.
next item is award of the seal coat contract, contract number 20-04 to Pearson Brothers of Hanover. And we recommend awarding in the amount of $671,990.12.
So moved.
All right. Motion made by
Second.
Commissioner Potter, seconded by Commissioner, was that Burrell? Couldn't quite hear. Okay. We're too far
Charlie.
away now. All right.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
off the top of your head, Virgil, do you know which ones will be seal coated this year?
You know, I don't
That's right.
It's on the map.
recall.
Yeah, I know
It's on the map.
It's no big deal. I just thought I'd
Actually,
ask.
though, I have a map here with me.
No, that's all right.
Table
I
today.
was just curious.
Okay.
He's trying to slow us down a little bit. We're moving too
There's
fast.
about 30 miles total on the,
I'll get you a copy.
You got a vote on it yet?
You mean for this? I don't have it.
I'll get it.
All right.
Need a vote on it.
Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay, thank you. The next item is to approve cooperative construction agreement between Wright County and MnDOT for the MnDOT project in US Highway 12 through Cokato. They're doing some signal improvements on our Highway 3, and so we're paying for our shares half of the improvement cost, which is $156,583.09. And there's also a resolution with this one.
So moved, Madam Chair.
All right.
Second.
Resolution to approve.
Madam Chair, if I might.
Yes.
Do they always split these 50/50? I mean, because Highway 12 obviously has about 10 times more traffic than the
Yes.
county road. It's
The
just
county,
always,
or the state's policy is by who owns the leg of the intersection, and we own two of the legs, two of the four legs.
all right.
Can you take a copy?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
For Commissioner Burrell, we also changed that policy when we first got in office, that make it so this cost-sharing formula was split by who has control of which leg of the intersection to match the state, to make it more fair, because a lot of cities were getting stuck with the whole expense, and it's just who owns the leg. It doesn't matter traffic count, just whose leg is it.
Correct,
And it's a fairer way of doing things.
correct.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Delaney.
is there currently a light at County Road 3?
Yes.
In our budget?
No, there's a light there,
I mean, is
but they're
there
going to
currently a
upgrade.
light
There
there?
is, there's a traffic
So
signal
there's
there.
just going to be some improvements?
We're
on
improving
that.
it, updating it, adding the appropriate ADA requirements.
Okay. I'm assuming it'll be going to an LED type lighting.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a standard now, and the
Yeah.
lumens and everything else. That-
I'm
They
waiting
changed a
for
lot of
the-
rules on that.
All right. Discussion, any more discussion? Hearing none. This is a resolution, so roll call vote. Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
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 Resolution passes 4-0.
Okay, thank you.
Aye.
The last item for consideration today is award of contract 20-02, Highway 39, four-lane reconstruction, Seago, the Park Construction Company, in the amount of $6,325,785.46.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second?
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Potter, seconded by Commissioner Vetch.
That was a very good bid, apparently.
That was outstanding numbers, 24% under our
absolutely.
estimate.
I can't say
I
yes
mean-
quick enough.
Yeah, you never see 24% below. Rarely, anyway. So any more discussion on this?
Yeah, it looked like everybody was under.
Yes.
So did you guys really pad the estimate?
No, we didn't. And then today, we have a bid opening today on our overlays, and with the barrel of oil now under $30 a ton and gas prices, we're really interested to see how that affects our bids this morning.
I say with oil going down, maybe they could put it out for bid again if it's not good enough.
Yeah,
We could do that. That might make
we sure
sense.
could.
Fantastic, though.
All right. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, thank
A
you.
lot of work behind all these things.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. I think we'll just do these quick. We do have committees of the whole minutes. I want to dispense with reading them, but if there is a motion to approve the committee of the whole from
But that-
227.
Those are items for consideration?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought
Madam
we-
Chair, if we could if you would just entertain us really quick just to take care of these minutes, and then I would like to have the discussion on the emergency declaration and a potential closed session. If we can just dispense with these minutes, if you would, and the board would so entertain that. I would say, just for time's sake, they're
For time's
out there for, just approve them. I don't think everybody can look through them if they have any questions on them.
Yeah, no, I'll make a motion to approve the Parks
Second.
Committee of the whole.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Deline, seconded by Commissioner Potter to approve the Parks Committee of the Whole. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Owners Committee of the Whole, Justice Center.
I'll make a motion
dispense
to
for the reading.
approve the Owners Committee meeting of the whole for the Justice Center on March 3rd.
All right, motion made by
Second.
Commissioner Vetch, seconded by Commissioner Potter. Any more discussion, or any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All right,
And now, there's a resolution yet? You want to do that one too, right away?
We could, then we can just come back.
I'll make a motion to approve the charitable gambling application for the Rockford Lions Club.
all right.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Deline, seconded by Commissioner Potter. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
It's a resolution, Madam Chair.
All right. I'm sorry. It's a resolution. Roll call vote, Commissioner Vetch.
Aye.
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 All right, thank you. All right, I have a statement to read. Wright County Emergency Declaration. Whereas novel coronavirus disease 2019, commonly known as COVID-19, a respiratory disease that can result in serious illness or death, is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is a new strain of coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans and can easily spread from person to person. And whereas the CDC has identified the potential public health threat posed by COVID-19 and has advised that person-to-person spread of COVID-19 will continue to occur, and whereas Wright County has had positive test results for COVID-19, and whereas on January 31st, 2020, the United States Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar declared a public health emergency for COVID-19 beginning January 27th, 2020, and whereas on March 13th, 2020, President Donald Trump declared that COVID-19 outbreak in the United States constitutes a national emergency, and whereas on March 13th, 2020, Governor Tim Walz declared a peacetime state of emergency to authorize any and all necessary resources to be used in support of the COVID response, and whereas the National Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the Minnesota Department of Public Health recommend that any individual with confirmed COVID-19 should remain under home isolation precautions until risk of secondary transmission to others is thought to be low. And whereas during this pandemic, it is possible that individuals who are not diagnosed with COVID-19 will be placed in quarantine to control or prevent further spread of COVID-19. And whereas the necessary resources to respond to and recover from this pandemic will exceed those resources available within the county, and additional resources will be needed from Wright County and the federal sources. Therefore, we request and direct as follows. Under the authority given, Minnesota Statutes 1229 declares a local emergency exists within Wright County effective March 16, 2020, and all the powers and responsibilities attending thereto provided by Chapter 12 Minnesota Statutes. Directs county departments to review ordinance and regulatory requirements, operations, civil and legal proceedings, and events and resources that can and should be adjusted or suspended, or to enact emergency regulations to support the residents of Wright County during this pandemic. Directs the Wright County Public Health Director, Community Health Services Administrator, and the Wright County Director of Emergency Management to request and coordinate appropriate aid and resources from surrounding jurisdictions in the state of Minnesota as needed. Declares under Minnesota statutes that in-person meetings of the Board of Commissioners and other public bodies and the mayor's jurisdiction where members of those bodies have been diagnosed with COVID or otherwise in quarantine or isolation in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19 are not practical or prudent because of the COVID-19 health pandemic and emergency declared under Minnesota Statute Chapter 12 by Governor Walz. Request the county board convene an emergency session as earliest convenience to discuss the situation in this declaration. This state of local emergency may not be continued for a period in excess of 3 days except by or with or consent of the chair of the Board of Commissioners of Wright County. Orders that this declaration be given prompt and general publicity and that be filed promptly by the county clerk. So,
Madam Chair?
with that,
Thank you for reading and declaring this state of emergency. I would ask at this time that we would be able to move to a closed session to discuss operations forward at this point. In this closed session, I'd like to include public health, emergency management, attorney's office, the county, the sheriff, and communications, as well as our administrator and assistant administrator in these discussions. Then we will reconvene with the rest of the staff for those information. It probably would be prudent for our IT director to be included as well.
yeah.
So you have those people that was included. Those of you that are in the room, we will move to the closed session. We are going to hold the closed session in here to maintain social distancing. So at that time, I guess the rest of you will invite you back once we've had the discussion and have more information to share.
So,
Motion, I guess.
Motion made, did you ask, you asked Virgil to stay?
I did not include highway in it, but
Okay, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I was late. So the motion made to move to closed session by Commissioner Vetch, is there a second?
Aye.
Yes? All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All right, have closed our meeting, we're moving into closed session, and those that have been requested
ahead.
Welcome back. We are returning from our closed session back to our open meeting. And in light of the declaration of the state of emergency in Wright County, all public counters, with the exception of the sheriff's office, will be closed with abundance of caution. All departments will begin implementing telecommuting to the greatest extent possible. This is a very fluid situation. We ask that staff and the public stay informed as well as we continue to make changes to better serve and protect the citizens of Wright County. We are also requesting that all non-essential committees be postponed, and this is in effect until April 1st of 2020. And
Madam Chair, did you
Mr.
want a
Craig?
motion to adopt that?
Madam,
that's basically
That's a statement.
my statement, but we do have the
declaration.
Wright County Emergency Declaration, and I did read it. We had a couple of minor changes. So I would like to turn this over to Assistant County Attorney Greg Kreiser.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. You are correct. Madam Chair, pursuant to your authority under Minnesota Statute 12.29, you declared in your authority a state of emergency for the County of Wright and directed that the board meet in a closed session to discuss emergency preparedness plans. The county has had that discussion. We've had that emergency preparedness discussion here in closed session. And now coming back to the board indicated that it would be interested in formally affirming under 12.29 the declaration that you issued earlier in this meeting for an emergency which is required within 3 days under statute. So the board in closed session did make some edits to what you had presented, Madam Chair, or read. The first one being in paragraph 3 is amended to Wright County has had a positive test for COVID-19. We've had one in Wright County so far. We're expecting more to be coming here shortly. I mean, it's going to happen, but we have at least one at this point in time. On the back side, there was a typographical error where it said mayor's jurisdiction. That has been amended to county board's jurisdiction. And paragraph 5, which you read, Madam Chair, was deleted because we have had that emergency meeting as required. I would note that in the attest section here for Mr. Kelly, when he signs it, eventually it is approved on the 17th, not the 16th. So the version that I have before you. So otherwise, Madam Chair, that is the resolution that the board could adopt pursuant to Minnesota Statute 12.29.
All right.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Vetch, seconded by Commissioner Potter to accept the Wright County Emergency Declaration. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Is this a resolution?
It is a resolution.
I'm
Oh, is there a
sorry.
second?
All right, this is a resolution, so Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution passes 5-0. All right. So getting back to some other discussions that we had in closed session, we are calling a hoop planning meeting tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
And Madam Chair, maybe
Mr.
for the public, maybe the
I'm
continuity
sorry.
of operations.
Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. We are calling a continuity of operations plan meeting tomorrow for all department heads, if supervisors want to be there also, so we can continue our planning efforts and determine, exactly who is responsible for what, and if this continues to be an issue, we need to make plans going forward for what that might look like. But for the near future, we just believe that limiting our contact with the public will help to slow the spread of COVID-19. We don't know enough about it to say that it's going to go away in a short period of time or whatever. Our department heads are going to be making some decisions about staffing and what that looks like, who we need here, who is able to do some meeting or telework essentially from home. And there's a lot of, maybe if we're not dealing with the public at the windows, but we still certainly have a lot of work. We're going to continue the business of the county, and as many people as we can have at work. Of course, the better, but we also want to make sure that if people have reasons that they can't be here, then we'll talk about them working from home, so. Mr. Riley, would you like to step up to the podium?
Sean Riley, Wright County Planning and Zoning. Is the courthouse closed?
The courthouse is not closed.
The doors are open.
The doors are open. What we're closing down is the public windows. So with the exception of the sheriff's office, the 2 windows there.
Okay.
But the court, yes, the courthouse, we're continuing the business of the county. So we just are limiting some
Public
of
interaction.
our interaction with the public, correct? So in other words, planning and zoning, if people, need information or they're dealing with you, they will need to call you, email you, recorder's office, a lot of those things can be mailed in. So we're looking at doing that for the near future.
Okay. So our door is closed, but the public can come in to our door.
If they have appointments, if for necessary. And you had said your discretion as a department head to determine the essentialness of needing to meet or not.
Just on the fly, so at this point, we have no appointments or communications to that regard.
Right,
Which is
and we
what
are
we'll-
getting a statement out to the public as we speak. It'll be going out soon, so the public will be notified. We're doing what we can just with signage and that kind of thing.
And DMV too?
DMV,
Is shutting down.
yep, is shutting
They're
down.
just finishing out the line that's there. The line's been capped, so.
Thank you.
Yep,
And then I would assume that going forward, there will be information on the county website
yes,
on how and what things can still be done via mail and phone and that sort of stuff.
yes. And
And any questions, call the department in which you have business with, and they will have.
And all that information is on the county website.
We're working.
they'll be posted, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot of phone calls coming in. A lot of people will still be contacting the county. We're gonna keep busy. There's no question about that.
You're going
Any
to
other-
close the meeting?
Madam Chair, I just want to make, stay staff, this is challenging for us as well as for all of you, because this is a playbook we've never opened before. And we're tasked with making tough decisions on whether people do work, don't work, how they're compensated, because, please know that all of us have the greatest compassion about everybody being able to afford their bills, because I understand everybody needs to work because they need to be able to pay for their bills. And we're trying to do that, and we also understand that there's some equity factors that have to be considered. So we're struggling with all this, and we want to also, first and foremost, be precautioned to everybody's health, because if we don't take care of your health, all the other stuff doesn't matter. So please try to message that to your employees, that as a county board and as department heads, we're really, really trying to find the best plan possible for everybody.
And
We're going to close the board
We'll be-
meeting? Or we're going to continue? Because the board meeting is still going on.
It
Yes.
is, right now. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm just wondering, because you're telling these people a lot of things that I'm not so sure.
Well, you have to make a
It's-
statement after you
Yeah.
go on a closed meeting and tell them what happened.
Well, yeah, and we did.
Okay, yeah, and so, as Commissioner Besch said, we're going to be making some decisions, but that's what we have for now. If there's any more statements from the board, we'll make a motion to adjourn.
The other thing is, there's a short term and a long term, because if the 2 weeks is here now, and that's why the COOP will meet, if this goes into phase 2 or whatever, long term, then they got to discuss how that's going to look in phase 2, and that's different than what the here and now we're dealing with versus the longer
Yep.
period.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to adjourn the.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Burrow, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lyden. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Right at that, we're in the committee of the whole.